President Donald Trump said Thursday he wants both Ukraine and China to investigate Joe Biden and his son after failing to answer a similar question on the topic the day before. Watch the video below.
If you look at, and by the way, likewise, China should start an investigation into the Bidens, because what happened in China is just about as bad as what happened with Ukraine. So I would say that President Zelensky, if it were me, I would recommend that they start an investigation into the Bidens, because nobody has any doubt that they weren't crooked. That was a crooked deal, 100%. He had no knowledge of energy, didn't know the first thing about it. All of a sudden, he's getting $50,000 a month, plus a lot of other things. Nobody has any doubt. And they got rid of a prosecutor who was a very tough prosecutor. They got rid of him. Now they're trying to make it the opposite way, but they got rid. So if I were the president, I would certainly recommend that of Ukraine. I haven't, but it's certainly something we can start thinking about, because I'm sure that President Xi does not like being under that kind of scrutiny, where billions of dollars is taken out of his country by a guy that just got kicked out of the Navy. He got kicked out of the Navy. All of a sudden, he's getting billions of dollars. You know what they call that? They call that a payoff.
Trump raised both Ukraine and China in his answer, saying he thinks both countries should investigate the former vice president and his son Hunter. There is no evidence of wrongdoing by Joe or Hunter Biden in Ukraine. There's also no evidence that the former vice president received any money from China, and a lawyer for Hunter Biden pushed back on this characterization, calling it a gross misrepresentation. The president repeated his criticism of a whistleblower complaint, saying it was total fiction, and repeating his conversation with Ukraine's president was absolutely perfect. On Wednesday, Reuters' Jeff Mason had asked Trump the same questions, which is at the center of the impeachment storm. What did he want from Ukraine's president if it was not, as it appears from a transcript of their July 25 telephone call, dirt on his potential 2020 election rival Joe Biden? When Mason, repeatedly but respectfully, tried to follow up, Trump snapped, "Ask this gentleman a question. Don't be rude. I've answered everything. It's a whole hoax, and you know who's playing into the hoax. People like you and the fake news media that we have in this country," the president added. Watch the video below.
The question, sir, was what did you want President Zelensky to do about Vice President Biden and his son Hunter?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, it was just a follow-up of what I just asked you, sir.
Listen, you ready? We have the president of Finland. Ask him a question.
I have one for him. I just wanted to follow up on the one that I asked you, which was,
Did you hear
what
me?
did you want
Did you hear me?
Yes,
Ask
sir.
him a question.
I will, but
I've given you a long answer. Ask this gentleman a question. Don't be rude.
No, sir, I don't want to be rude. I just wanted you to have a chance to answer the question that I asked you.
I've answered everything. It's a whole hoax. And you know who's playing into the hoax? People like you and the fake news media that we have in this country. And I say in many cases, the corrupt media, because you're corrupt. Much of the media in this country is not just fake, it's corrupt. And you have some very fine people, too. Great journalists, great reporters.
But on Thursday, Trump laid out exactly what he wanted: investigations of a potential political rival. Trump says he hasn't yet asked his Chinese counterpart to investigate Joe Biden and his son. But he said it was something he'd consider, alleging the Bidens engaged in wrongdoing. After what President Trump said, House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff has blasted President Trump for asking China and Ukraine to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden, calling it a fundamental breach of presidential decorum and a threat to national security. Emerging from a closed-door meeting in the Capitol basement, where lawmakers from 3 committees are interviewing a key witness as part of the Democrats' impeachment inquiry, Schiff said the comments are evidence that Trump has ignored the lessons from former special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian interference, and Mueller's warnings of ongoing foreign influence over critical domestic affairs. The President of the United States encouraging a foreign nation to interfere again to help his campaign by investigating a rival is a fundamental breach of the presidential oath of office, Schiff continued. It endangers our elections. It endangers our national security. It ought to be condemned by every member of this body, Democrats and Republicans alike. Thanks for watching. Please let us know if you do not like the voice of BOT and your opinion about the video content to help us improve the service quality for next videos.